Alright guys, in today's video we have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and discuss. Before we dive into today's topics, do me a big favor, hit the like button to help this video out and show it your support, and if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. We're starting here though talking about September's PlayStation Plus free games lineup, because it seems that the lineup was leaked. Now this time it does seem like it's the real deal based on how realistic this lineup actually sounds. I say this because there was another leak that happened recently that was debunked, and it said that we were going to be getting the Medium as a PlayStation 5 game, and the Medium is launching onto the PlayStation 5 in September, so that automatically seemed a little too good to be true. And it also had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remastered as a PS4 title, which again seemed a little too good to be true. Turns out it was. This time around though, however, we are getting another leak. As I said, the lineup seems more realistic. This is reading from PlayStation Universe, and it says Sony has yet to officially announce the PlayStation Plus September 2021 free games lineup, but Dia Labs has reportedly let the cat out of the bag early. Note that this isn't official yet, so keep that in mind, but we'll find out soon enough. And that's true. Whether or not this is a legitimate leak, we're going to know in probably just a couple of days. But apparently the PlayStation 5 title we're going to be getting is Overcooked All You Can Eat. And then the PlayStation 4 titles are Hitman 2 and Predator Hunting Grounds. Now, it's worth noting that the source of this, it is a forum where they look to verify anybody who is making claims, anybody who is attempting to leak something. They ask for evidence to be shown to them, and if they don't get that evidence or evidence that is compelling enough, they actually delete the post and don't allow it to stay up. When it does stay up, it means that they were given enough evidence that turns out they believe it. So yeah, looking at this lineup, Overcooked All You Can Eat is the PS5 title. I've played this game. It's actually a lot of fun. I know that just looking at it, a lot of people are probably just going to be like, I'm not really going to be into it. I'm not into the style. I kind of thought the same thing at first, but I played it with my wife for a good while. Let me tell you, it is a fun game. It's actually pretty difficult, and it's a game you definitely want to play with a couple people if you're able to. So I definitely recommend it if you're at all interested. And when it comes to the PlayStation 4 titles, Hitman 2 and Predator Hunting Grounds, I guess they're okay. I mean, Predator Hunting Grounds, honestly, I don't know what to think of this title. I played it for a little bit when it first came out, and I really didn't like it. It just didn't feel very good to me. Maybe they've improved it since then, but yeah, this is what we're looking at as of right now. Again, we're going to have to wait for Sony to confirm this. But we're moving on to the next topic, which is talking about a game I'm very much looking forward to, that being Elden Ring. We have new information on this game. Apparently a lot of information was revealed about Elden Ring, and one of the things we learned is what PlayStation 5 features this game will be supporting. So this is reading from PlayStation Universe once again, where we are getting confirmation that Elden Ring will not support 3D audio for the PS5. However, it will support the features offered in the Dualsense controller, which in my opinion is a little bit more important. That's something that you definitely want. It's unfortunate that we're not going to be getting 3D audio, but it's nice to know that they will be implementing the haptic feedback in the DualSense controller. And so this was actually confirmed by From Software's marketing and production head. It comes from Ungeek, where they answered the question directly, what PS5 features will Elden Ring be supporting? And they did confirm they're not looking into 3D audio at the moment. It's worth noting that the quote says we are not considering 3D audio at the moment, but we are looking at ways to implement the haptic feedback of the DualSense controller. And so what this implies is that they may end up looking into 3D audio down the line. It may even come in the form of a patch after the game's already out, but nonetheless, we are getting DualSense support, and I think, as I said, that's a little bit more important. This is easily one of the best reasons, in my opinion, to consider a PlayStation 5 is what you're able to experience with the DualSense controller. It really does make a difference. I've explained this to everybody, and those who have experienced it, I think, would agree. Some people don't feel that way, but most people would say, yeah, the DualSense is definitely a game changer in some aspects. So you can expect Elden Ring to support it. We'll have to wait and see if they end up doing anything in the long run with 3D audio. Something else I do want to make you guys aware of is apparently Hidetaka Miyazaki is writing Elden Ring's in-game text, not George R.R. Martin. I think that this is pretty important because we know that Elden Ring was kind of advertised, to be in collaboration with George R.R. Martin, and people are really unsure of like how involved he really is, like how much of this is he writing. So it says here the in-game text seen in From Software's Elden Ring is not being handled by George R.R. Martin, but rather Hidetaka Miyazaki. The pair are collaborating on the upcoming fantasy title, but Martin's contributions focused more on the game world and mythos. Martin himself had said that he wrapped up his involvement in Elden Ring years ago, leaving the rest up to Miyazaki-san and his team. So I thought that this was definitely something worth noting here because, again, like people were kind of wondering how involved is George R.R. Martin, and he pretty much said, yeah, I made the world rules and whatnot and dealt with some of the lore, but he just kind of did his thing, gave it to Miyazaki, and Miyazaki is going to do what he does with it, right? And I actually like that. It's nothing against George R.R. Martin, but it's just when you think of From Software titles, the lore is such a huge part of it, and Miyazaki is obviously a big reason for this. And so it's nice to know that he's going to be, kind of handling most of this. That's what I would prefer, personally, as a big fan of previous From Software titles. So I thought that would be worth mentioning to you guys. I also want to continue to talk a little bit about Elden Ring here because, again, it's a game I'm looking forward to, and I think a lot of you are as well. New previews for From Software's Elden Ring have started going live, along with 4 new images. The Game Awards creator Jeff Keighley tweeted out the screenshots and confirmed that the game was on track for its release in January 2022. Meanwhile, Polygon provided some interesting new details in its preview, noting that you'd be able to place markers on the map when traversing the places, while dungeons and castles will be encountered. You may suddenly be attacked by a dragon as well. That always sounds fun. Areas range from a swamp-filled region, because there has to be a swamp, to a flooded city, along with the previously seen forests and snow-covered plains. A wide variety of threats can be expected from massive knights to foes with multiple arms. One of the crazier foes is a large falcon that will attack with swords, peck at the player, and even toss explosive kegs. Players can summon help, whether it's in the form of other players or AI spirits. It also seems that in addition to discovering spirits in the world, some vanquished foes can be summoned later as allies. Those used to platforming in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice should also take note. There will be plenty of that here. For instance, when infiltrating Stormwind Castle, you can either go through the front gates and face a hail of arrows, or take a side path that involves sneaking and jumping. Plenty of enemies will also be present, but in some cases, like a giant troll that's encountered, you can be caught by surprise, opting to use a sleep arrow and safely bypass it. Some familiar combat mechanics from Bloodborne are also prevalent, like dashing, while it's also possible to reduce an enemy's stance and inflict critical damage, not unlike Sekiro's death blows. Last light sights serve as your means for fast travel, while a young woman named Melina assists as learning new abilities and leveling up. Much like Dark Souls, at this point, Elden Ring looks like a culmination of everything that From Software has done up until this point, and it sounds absolutely incredible. So I just wanted to take a moment to give you guys some more details about the game world and some of the mechanics. Again, you have a little bit of something in there from Bloodborne, from Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and obviously a lot here from the Dark Souls trilogy. So yeah, let me know what you're thinking about Elden Ring. How excited are you for it? For me, it's going to be a day one buy on PlayStation 5 for sure, but we are going to move on to the next topic, which talks about Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut and how it's doing specifically in Japan, because it seems that this is the first game in a while from PlayStation that actually seems to be doing something of significance in Japan. So this is reading from Gaming Bolt, and it says Famitsu has released the data for software and hardware sales in Japan for the last week, and it was a pretty uneventful week all in all. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut was the biggest new release of the week, and it sold somewhat decent figures for an extended re-release. The PS5 version sold over 13,700 units in 5th place, while the PS4 version in 7th place sold over 10,000 units. Technically, Ring Fit Adventure has taken the top spot with over 17,000 units sold, but with PS5 and PS4 sales combined, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is the highest selling game of the week. And so this isn't anything huge, but it is worth highlighting for a moment because, as I said, PlayStation has not really had that big of a presence in Japan recently. Nintendo has been absolutely dominating. And so it's nice to see Ghost of Tsushima just kind of, technically speaking, well, actually, technically speaking, it didn't take the top spot, but, you combine PS4 and PS5, it's hitting that #1 spot. And, PS5 is doing okay in Japan. It's sold 12,638 units. That is, the weekly total. So, yeah, there we go. It seems like the Japanese audience is definitely more interested in Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut than some other PlayStation games that have been releasing. But moving on to the next topic, this isn't anything major either, but just a little something I thought was worth mentioning here, and this is actually pointed out by Push Square. Horizon Zero Dawn's logo is retroactively refreshed to reflect Forbidden West. So it goes on to say, the eagle-eyed among you may have spotted that Horizon Zero Dawn's logo has been refreshed to reflect upcoming sequel Horizon Forbidden West. When the follow-up was officially announced last year, many noticed that it includes a Roman numeral as part of its line break. A similar flourish with an eye has been retroactively added into the original as well. The change was spotted by reader Adam Novice, who sent us the screenshot after reinstalling the game to check out its new 60 frames per second update. And so, again, this is something that is very small, but I do think it's worth noting, right? Because that is something I do remember people talking about when Horizon Forbidden West was first revealed, how they altered the logo a little bit, and it looked a little bit different than what people were expecting. And so it turns out that this is the way they want to have it look going forward. So yeah, it's not a huge change, but something that I think was worth mentioning for just a moment here. But we're moving on and talking about F.I.S.T. Forged in Shadow Torch and how it recently got over 19 minutes of gameplay. We've been talking about a bunch of different games here on the channel, and this is one that I know many of you are looking forward to. And so it's worth noting that posted via IGN, we have over 19 minutes of new gameplay footage. If you managed to play the time-limited demo of the game on Steam a few weeks back, you'll see this basically picks up directly after that, where Rayton has defeated the first major boss and picked up the drill weapon afterward. Here you'll see how you use the weapon with your fist, as well as the first look at the game's English voice acting. And so, yeah, I will have this article linked down below, which also has the video linked so you can watch that 19 minutes of gameplay. This game is coming out very soon. It's actually releasing on September 7th, so it's literally right around the corner. It is a console exclusive on PlayStation 5 and 4, but it's also going to release on PC, so feel free to check that out. It does look pretty good. But speaking of games that are releasing soon, we also got confirmation that Jett the Far Shore now has a release date, and it's going to be releasing on October 5th, 2021. So Jett the Far Shore will officially launch on that date. Developer Super Others revealed a new release date announcement trailer at Gamescom 2021's opening night live event, showcasing some gameplay and story from the game. Additionally, Jett is currently available for pre-order at a 20% discount price until launch day, so something definitely worth paying attention to if you are planning to play this game. As we covered during the game's announcement at Sony's PlayStation State of Play earlier this year, Jett is a narrative-heavy exploration game set in a sci-fi world. Players control May, an explorer who is researching an unfamiliar planet alongside her fellow Jett scouts. Inspired by other cinematic exploration games like Flower, Jett takes place on both foot and flying across the planet's landscapes in a Jett ship. So again, this is another title that I saw many of you talking about and mentioning, and so yeah, there you go. We do have these games, these PlayStation console exclusive games that are going to be releasing. Again, I know these aren't the big AAA games that some of you are hoping to get, but still, there's something to be said for these titles. There's a reason why Sony has handpicked some of these to be shown off during their State of Plays. So Yeah, here you go. Jett, the Far Shore, coming out in October. And then finally, the last thing I want to mention to you guys is that Far Cry 6, a big AAA multi-platform title, has confirmed that they will also be supporting the DualSense controller. So if you're going to be playing Far Cry 6 on your PS5, you might be happy to hear that the upcoming shooter will support all DualSense features, including haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. Ubisoft did not clarify if the same is true for PC. After some delays, Far Cry 6 is now inevitably approaching its release date of October 7th to mark an open world franchise's silky smooth, high-resolution debut on next-gen consoles. On PlayStation 5, the much-anticipated title promises to make use of the DualSense controller by giving the players a feel of the nearby explosions, precise vehicle control during a tense chase, and much more. Far Cry 6 lead designer David Grivell addressed the subject when speaking to Play Magazine. PSU reported, Grivell confirmed that DualSense will be fully supported to enrich the player's immersion in the Cuba-inspired Caribbean island of Yara. We can't wait for players to experience the game on that platform. It feels great with the large roster of vehicles and weapons we have, Grivell said. However, Ubisoft is going to delve into further details in the next few weeks. So yeah, you know, Far Cry 6 is a huge game that's going to be launching this year. And it's a game that I think a lot of PlayStation 5 owners are going to be picking up. And so it's nice to hear that they're going to be fully supporting the DualSense again. This is something I always like to highlight and mention because we are seeing incredible third-party support for this controller. I think that this is one of the fears that people had, you know, as we approach the year mark of the PS5 being out. You know, are developers not going to take advantage of it? Was it only just going to be a few at launch and then it would just kind of stop? And no, that's not what's happening. It seems that this is very much a feature that developers love and they want to continue to support. And I don't see why they wouldn't, right? It adds a whole nother layer of immersion, as I say. But that does it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Be sure to leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. Again, leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.